with us, folks, a duo that cannot be surpassed and cannot be missed. I've got Lance and Lea. The reason why I decided to contact them and actually make this happen as an interview is because of their last album, Boots and Blues, which was released in 2024, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Okay, so before we go into the albums and your current creations and anything else that you're doing, how did you come about learning that you had an interest in country and blues and mixing both of them?
Good question. You want to take it?
You know, it kind of came about organically. Lee basically, I come from more of a rock background and blues, of course, heavily influenced by, bands like Metallica and AC/DC and blues guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan and B.B. King. And Lee comes from a totally different background. She comes from the country world. And basically we just started writing. We've been writing together for 13 years. And we've written a lot of different albums. And we basically, when the blues songs kind of started coming through us when we were writing, we were like, man, these songs are too good. We got to do a blues album. We were kind of already a little bit in the country Americana zone, and then these blues songs, we were writing these blues songs, and it was just like, we got to get these out to the world, and we loved them. So we ended up deciding, you know what, we got a lot of country songs, but we got these blues songs. We got to get them out there. And we combined them, and that's kind of how the combination happened. Is that?
Yeah, just organically. Like we all of a sudden kind of looked back and we were like, wait, we have like definitely an album's worth of blues songs and definitely an album's worth of country songs, and those are our two backgrounds. So we were like, why don't we do a double album? Like, it just literally kind of fell together organically. And we weren't really trying to do that when we were writing the songs. It just kind of happened.
So, with you guys being, I know that pretty much everyone started separately and they decided to cross paths once in a while. How did you guys actually meet to become the duo you are now?
So we met here in Nashville, 13 years ago. We met at it's called Country Radio Seminar, CRS. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's a thing that happens here every year. It's kind of a radio event, and it also is like a big networking event or whatever.
Okay.
And we just met there randomly and just kind of were walking by each other and felt this instant connection and just kind of looked at each other and said, do I know you? And then we started writing songs together. Yeah. And then
that was kind of the first
that
thing.
was the first.
We got together to write, and on our first writing session, we wrote probably 5 songs in about an hour and a half.
It was very fast, like our creative chemistry.
Songs were just coming right through us, and then shortly after that, of course, we fell in love. We got back together to write, but it started initially as kind of a creative thing, but that's how it is, I guess. It just
So it's basically a couple. You're now a couple. Are you married? Yes. Did you tie the knot, or are you still? Okay. So now you're a duo that has a knot between actually country and blues, which is great. Now, the last album you released was I listened to it like 5 times because here in New Brunswick, a lot of the music tends to be anything, but country is one of the biggest sellers. Just to give you a case in point, we've got like 3 or 4 radio stations that have country music being played 24 hours. Blues, well, I'm the only one that's doing it on a constant basis when it's on a Sunday evening. So, after the release of your 2024, are you currently working on a new one, perchance?
We are.
We sure are.
You're the first one to know. Ironically, you really are the first one to know, aside from our inner circle.
Yep.
Because we've got a single that we're going to be releasing
Next Friday
on the 10th.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So, since you spilled the beans about this new one coming through, when did you guys actually start the project? Because I know that as musicians and songwriters and singers, you probably already fleshed out, or you probably, I like to use gardens and seeds. You probably had seeds in the back of your mind, and you were constantly building up and pruning them and caring for them and watering, so on and so forth. How long did you take to create the base of your album playlist so that you could go into a studio or do it online with other folks to actually create the album?
Ooh.
We started, I'd say it was probably a year.
Writing and recording.
Yeah, we were, because, the last 6 years we've been touring and, playing all over the U.S. and a lot of times when you're on tour, you don't technically write as much. And I think that's because the tours we've done them in our own vehicles up until this point. Our goal has always been to have a tour bus and be able to not have to drive, and then we could just write the whole time. But for the last 6 years, we've been, you drive, to the venue or to the house show or wherever you're playing, and so you're in and out so quickly. So anyway, I bring that up because before we go on tour, we usually write a lot, and then when we actually go out on the road, from like last year when we went out, we did probably, how many days did we do last year? 60 or 70?
Yeah, I think we were 70-ish, maybe 70 or 80. Maybe.
We were going for like 3 or 4 months. But when we were out, we didn't necessarily write a ton of songs, but we had songs, like you said, kind of in the arsenal of, wow, there's another blues record here coming, and there's another country record coming. And we had more of the blues actually this time, oddly enough, that hit the songs that had kind of come through, that we were like, we have to get these out. And also, things started kind of taking off on TikTok with the blues stuff specifically. And so I don't know if that's why the songs started coming through us, or, we obviously, I love that style, but I personally never thought that we would do a blues until these songs came about. I never thought, I'm a blues artist, I want to just play blues. I just never really imagined doing that. I love the blues, but for some reason when these songs started coming through, we were both like, man, these are too good, we got to do this. And it felt right, and it felt legit and authentic to us. So anyway, I just bring that up as a side note. But yeah, we had 5 or 6 blues songs, and then we had 3 or 4 country songs, and that we felt this was out of writing. We probably had written 70 to 100 songs. This was out of 70 or 100 songs. We narrowed it down. And so we're like, hey, we've almost got a full album's worth of songs that we feel really great about. And so we ended up, after the last tour, we got home, and right when we got home from tour, it'd be September last year? October. We literally we put it into motion where we got the funding together for the album. We've crowdfunded the last, all of our last albums. And so we were set to go in and record them right when we got home from tour. And this past November, we went and recorded.
Literally, we came home from tour, and I think 2 weeks later, we were in the studio, recording the record with the band.
Okay.
So it was fast and furious, but it was great.
Yeah, and it was cool because it was kind of like, it was a little different than, because some songs that were released, we do them to where we have recording software and Pro Tools and everything, and we do it on the road, and we'll send stuff to our producer, and he'll build different things out. But this record was kind of like how we did, the second half of Boots and Blues on the blues side, where all the members were in the same room together, so we tracked everything live
at the same time.
Now the vocals might have been overdubbed, but we basically everything was live, and so we could only pick it by take instead of one instrument, then another instrument, and it was just magic, So it was really great. We're really excited about it.
So who did you have this time around in the studio to assist you in creating this baby?
So our producer, Evan Sealing, he's based here in Nashville, and he's done our last 3 or 4 albums with us. 3?
Yeah.
This would be the 4th one, right? Because we did Great Big World with him, Songs from the Road, Boots and Blues, and now this new album. This would be the 4th one. And he's incredible. He's not only a producer, but he's become obviously one of our best friends. And also he's an incredible musician. He can play so many different things so well. I mean, it's incredible. He plays pedal steel and plays guitar and plays drums, and he actually started as a drummer. So anyway, he was our producer on this record as well.
Okay, and other than you, him, who else did you have in studio at the time?
We had our drummer, Pete Wilson.
He plays with a guy named Ian Munsick. He's a big country artist. He's on tour with him, and then Christian Harger, sorry. He'll get me for that.
We always say Harger, and I'm like, it's Harger. He's going to be like, come on, Lance.
But he's amazing. He used to tour with, what is the guitar?
Patrick Droney.
I don't
know if you've heard of him. He's awesome.
He's kind of, but now he actually more produces than anything. But he came in and played bass on it.
Bass guitar. And then we had Kieran Gupta on the B3 organ.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we had, of course, Lance on the lead guitar. There can only be one lead guitar player in the room, and it's this guy right over here.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, though, the preparation for this was, I didn't have a lot of time because we got off tour, and I had a couple weeks to get the chops up to where I felt like they needed to be to go into a room. It's so different than just going in and having oh cool, I have as many takes as I want. It's different when you go in with a band and your amp is just turned up to 10, and
there's more pressure because you got to get it right. Because if you mess up the take, then the whole take is kind of scratched because there's bleed coming through all the mics, a little bit of bleed from all the other musicians. So if you're like, okay, I like that take from the drums better, but my take doesn't match, it just doesn't work. You have to take them.
Since everybody's tracking at the same time,
it's just a little more pressure than if you were like, hey, I'm laying the drums down now, then I'm going to go back and lay the guitar down, then I'm going to go back and lay it, which is how a lot of tracks are built.
Yeah.
But
True.
This way is definitely more like, you don't want to mess up because
basically my amp that's mic'd up in a different room.
Yeah.
It's still near the drummer, so my guitar is coming. You can hear my guitar coming through his drum mics that are mic'd up. So as a result, you can't take if you don't like your take. Well, then you're gonna have to do a whole other take. In other words, every take has to line up to where everybody played. At least in the drum side, you have to pick the right things, and because or else you can't use. It's kind of complicated, but essentially, you can't necessarily then use certain mics that are mic'd on the guitar because you're hearing the drums through the guitar mic, and the drums are hearing the guitar through. So it's it's a little complex.
So basically, there's a little bit of feed coming from other instruments, and you have to make sure that the take goes well. Otherwise, you have to go back because it's like doing a film shoot where the light goes off. Then you can't really continue until you get the right light.
Exactly.
Sound isolation in studios is variable, but unfortunately, there's always that finite, unpredictable factor when it comes to sound. So now, with all these people together, and if I remember correctly, both of you play guitars, I think. you're more on the acoustic side, Leah, right?
Yes.
And you're more on the. Are you acoustic as well?
Or he plays.
Yeah.
I mean, he can play any guitar.
Okay.
I
So
play acoustic as well, but if we're doing with the band,
You're on the lead.
Yeah.
okay, well that's good. And you both sing, so kudos to you because sometimes I can't even sing while I'm walking, and
Thanks, man.
it's, the album itself is now close to releasing with the single coming out very soon. That less than 2 weeks from now. Do you have? I'm assuming you already have a title for the album.
Yes, we do. When is this gonna air?
It's going to air as soon as I do my edits, but I can hold back if you need me to actually release it at a later date.
Well, do you want to? Is it okay to talk about the title? I think it's fine, and we can talk about
the release.
the release or whatever.
But
So we're calling it Blues for Breakfast, and that's actually the title track of the record.
Okay.
And it's really cool. This album, we're kind of doing a double album again, but we're doing it a little differently than Boots and Blues in that we're separating the two instead of them being on one album.
Mm-hmm.
But the first half will be 5. It's a compilation of 5 blues songs. It's called Blues for Breakfast, and that's what we'll be dropping. We'll start dropping singles on April 10th. That first single will drop, which is the lead single, which is Blues for Breakfast.
Okay. So you said that you're releasing it as a double album?
Yes.
We're not. Well, it's not technically getting.
It's like 2 parts.
It's not technically going to get released as a double because, one of the main reasons is because we're going to try to chart on the Billboard Blues charts.
Okay.
And so we're technically putting it as just 2 separate albums.
But they were technically it's kind of like a part 1 and part 2. But yes, it will technically live on 2 separate albums because you can't chart on Billboard with a mixed genre album.
Yeah.
So you have to separate them. So it'll be 5 blues songs that will be released here in the spring/early summer, and then the 5 country songs will be in the fall.
Okay, so 10 songs in total, 5 blues. I can't wait to see those 5 blues. I kind of wish that you would have actually gone for 12, but that's just me. When albums are released, I see people doing lots of covers when they're only starting off. And in some cases, they eventually get the courage to start doing their own original material.
Yes.
And the way that blues has been evolving in the last few years, it goes anywhere from acoustic blues that you hear from the 1940s, 1920s, all the way up to here. But they've got this new... I can't find the proper term for it, but it's almost an orbital blues where you have these multiple genres getting milled into a blues song. And they're actually pushing it as a blues song, and when you listen to it, it makes sense. And that's why I decided to actually listen to the album so many times, because the country is always I won't say antithesis because it's a complementary to blues. In fact, a lot of the songs in country, depending on what format that you're going to be using, tends to be one of these ballads that you lose everything and you're crushed, and you don't know if you'll be able to actually continue with your life. Blues is almost the same thing, and in many cases, the country blues aspect was actually Travis Tritt that actually brought it to my lifetime, because I started listening to him very young. And during the Blues Brothers 2000 film, he was one of the artists on stage for the big band that B.B. King was leading against the Blues Brothers. So
That's awesome.
it is. Now, with this being done, and you guys probably planning on doing some touring for the new album once it drops, probably at a release party, or just at a particular venue that you're going to say, hey, you guys are going to be in a treat. We're going to drop the album right now. Are you planning to go anywhere specific for this particular tour, or are you just planning spots across the U.S.?
So that's another exciting update to our life we'll tell you about. You want to tell?
Go ahead.
So we have a little one coming in July.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So it's kind of strange because it'll be the first year that we don't necessarily tour right away. We are going to do some shows in May.
Okay.
And we're working on that right now, pulling that all together. We've got some dates confirmed. And then we were planning on after that, then giving it, obviously, till the baby comes in July. And then we'll probably have a couple months before we can even think about touring. So as of right now, we don't have a full tour schedule for this year, but we are planning to tour at the beginning of next year. That's kind of our plan right now. If we can get out earlier than that, we will. But I don't know. We don't know what to expect. So
Okay. Well, with that said, that means that we need to cross our fingers that you guys get a tour bus that you can actually bring the whole family on, so that then you've got your quality time when you're taking downtime, babies growing up in the musical venues and the travel and everything else. I know Tommy Castro is having fun with his tour bus. That's how I did my interview. He was lounging in his tour bus, and we were doing it while he was on the road.
That's awesome.
So. That said, now we've covered the musical aspect, the fact that you have an album, which is your baby, and a real live baby that's coming out in July. As people, because you're humans, you're not just machines, you're not kind of intrinsically plugged to your music. Do you have time for any pastimes or hobbies that you actually enjoy doing instead of actually just doing music? Because some do only music, they don't have hobbies. So do you have something specific that you like to do once in a while?
Gosh, like kind of our whole entire life for the last 13 years has been music in one form or another. We both have other things that we do enjoy doing, yes. Or I guess you could call them hobbies. Not really anything that takes up a lot of, like I enjoy fashion, for example, but it's not something that I dedicate a lot of time to other than putting outfits together for our shows and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He enjoys health and wellness and things like that, but not really something. Our music career has just consumed so much of our time that it's usually songwriting, of course, is kind of always been our number one, and then the touring after that. And but I mean, I know for me, of course, gosh, I'm trying to think of. You're right. Like you like spiritual stuff, health and wellness stuff. Like I used to be a personal trainer, years ago, and so we go to the gym and stuff, and I enjoy exercising, and we both love to travel. Yeah, which we get to do when we tour. So that's like
it's a nice. double XP on the traveling and doing your thing.
Yes, anything in the definitely scratches that itch. Anything in the guitar world, for sure, for me is
okay.
I mean, learning new guitar stuff, videos, just practicing the guitar is massive for me. Like aside from songwriting, I would say the guitar is.
Okay. And for your guitars, for both of you, any particular type of guitar that you actually play more on or enjoy more?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's my red Gibson Dove, and for you. I don't know.
Yeah, mine's.
I know what yours is, but I'll let you show it. I know what the baby is.
This guy right here. Yeah.
Fender Strat.
Fender Strat. Yeah.
Oh,
What
okay.
year is it? A 19.
It's a 95. So
95.
Okay, and what kind of strings do you guys enjoy using? Nylon, steel, braided?
Usually steel stereo, 10 to 46, usually on electric.
And what about yours, Leah?
My acoustic strings are they're steel. Oh, I'd have to look at the pack.
They're D'Addario.
D'Addarios. Let me look at the.
I usually use phosphor bronze EJ.
There you have it.
Ah,
16.
okay.
Yeah. I've tempted to go up on electric to 10, like 11s or 12s, but I think that's something in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we've got a lot of other guitars, but mostly like this electric play probably the most, and then she plays her acoustic, which she'll pull out, and then that's a Dove.
Well, that's a nice one. I like the way it's designed. I like the actual motif on the front too.
Isn't that pretty?
It is.
Yeah. She's a pretty one. We got Lance and I actually found this one, and then his acoustic. They're twin Doves, so they're both Gibson Doves, and it was cool because we found them. Kind of have this thing with like a twin thing. I don't know. It's always kind of followed us, and I have no idea why. I don't know if we're someday gonna have twins. We're not expecting twins at the moment. I will say that. But we found these twin Doves. This one and his, and then so they were hanging side by side in the Twin Cities up in Minneapolis, and we live on Twin Lawn, which maybe we need to edit that out. I don't know if we want to let everybody know where we live.
Wow, that's really a lot of twins.
So if you look at them side by side.
So we went into a music store, like she said,
On our 10-year, that's what I was going to say. 10-year anniversary. So these were
called Twin Town Guitars, and I pulled this guitar off the wall and played one chord on it, and it was like, she told me she loved me, and then I never looked back. What would we become? Like, in other words, songs were just coming right through to where you don't even have to think about it. And so I put the recorder down.
Yep.
She grabbed that other Dove,
which I didn't know had been hanging next to his, which was kind of cool. They were actually hanging next to each other, and we just fell in love with these guitars. So, 10-year anniversary gift to each other.
Oh, nice. Now the one thing I know is that you're active on TikTok, which is fun because you actually get to release snippets of songs or kind of semi-lengthy songs, depending on because you have 10 minutes to actually do it, unless you're doing a live, where then you can go on for hours. Apart from that, I'm trying to think of my questions. They're all answered. The only other question I have, possibly two questions, is what's your favorite food dish individually? Now, by that, I need to specify, if I gave you a buffet of foods and there'd be a specific food that you'd always have as a choice and you'd always go for, what would it be?
Oh, man, this is a tough one. Is this a food that it's a favorite, but it's not necessarily the only food you'd be stuck with?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. No, you go. I don't have mine yet because I got several options.
Well, I'll give you a starter. I had an artist, Carl. I can't remember his last name. He's gonna hit me for it. He told me that his favorite food was ice cream, and that's all he'd eat if day, night, morning, noon. If he could, he would, but that was his choice. And others had sushi, others had Italian, they had pizza, lasagna, homemade dishes. So it really depends on what you know that you'll actually go to every single time. Now, in my case, I'll give you my my option to give you an idea. If I can do my version of a beef stew, which is called, in French, it's called patate au nord, which in English would be foxy potatoes. And it's a simple dish, but you use starchy potatoes, carrots, turnip, beef, which you can use whichever cut. Typically, it could be stew cubes. You need a little bit of fat to get taste. And then you do it for about 3 hours. And eventually, depending on how you do it, you can flour up your meat and then throw it in the pot first. And then add water, add your veg, and then just let it boil and simmer. Or you can overboil the potatoes a bit so that the starch starts to separate and it thickens up the actual soup. That's something that I used to do almost once every week. So
That sounds good.
delicious.
It's making me hungry.
so that's the example that I need you guys to choose on something that you would actually do or go out for more often than not.
I think mine would be, definitely mine would be some kind of tacos.
I knew you were gonna say
And I
tacos.
think it would definitely be like fajitas, like Mexican fajitas, with corn tortillas and chicken or beef, shrimp. I don't do as much beef these days. I still do. I'm Texas. I come from Texas, so we ate so much brisket and beef my whole life, and it was wonderful. But now I try to go more shrimp, but I love tacos of any kind. And in fact, usually on a weekend, even breakfast tacos. I mean, we go on the weekends. Tacos and donuts, I'd say. But if you can only pick one, I'd probably say tacos for sure. Yeah.
Well, since you picked tacos, because I love tacos so much too.
Fajitas specifically. Probably.
Fajita, yeah.
Yeah, like Mexican fajitas.
I would probably have to go with like pad thai. Have you had pad thai, like the noodly?
Oh,
Like,
I do. I don't do pad thai myself, but I do know. I usually go out for dine in. It's a takeout from a chain, but they do one of the best pad thais that I've ever tried. So.
my God, yes. I've never get tired of that. I probably have to pick that. It's one of my favorite foods.
Well, there you go, folks. They love tacos, fajitas, donuts, and also pad thai. The only other thing, and it's very rare that I ask this. Typically, I only get one member from a team, from a band present for the interview. Would you be willing to grace us with a possible song?
Oh, sure.
Sure, let's do it. What song is the question?
I know.
Your choice. It could be a blues song. It could be country blues. It could be country. Really.
Let me.
Maybe, how about maybe Roll On?
Do you want to do both guitars?
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds pretty in tune.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so this is something off of the Some Blues album.
Yeah.
So you've heard it.
Yeah.
It's called Roll On.
Roll On, yeah. Let's do it. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Aw. She'll make you cry and make you laugh. Oh, you know it, boy. She's got the dice. She rolls them. You better stop and take a picture. Why not without? She'll make you miss her. Your world is in her hands. She's got the dice. She rolls them. So roll on, baby. Play your game. Yeah, you can play me. All you want, all you need. I'll be right here. Set me free. She'll make it hurt, but she'll love it. It'll burn for a moment. When she is in your mind, she's got the dice, she rolls them. So roll on, baby, play your game. Yeah, you can play there. All you want, all you need. I'll be right here. Set me free. So roll on, baby, play your games. You can play there. All you want, all you need. I'll be right here. Set me free. So roll on, baby, play your games. You can play there. All you want, all you need. I'll be right here. Set me free.
That was awesome. I can see why you two go so well. No, it's true. The synergy is physically visible, and we can feel the how can I say? You're almost in twinned when it comes to the actual music. So, is there anything that you want to drop as any information or anything else that you want to say before we finish the interview?
Yeah, I would just say for anyone listening, we'd love to have you follow us on any of our socials. You can find us if you like what you're hearing. We're on all socials: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and it's just Lance and Lea, and it's Lance and Lea.
Yep, and then the website too, if you want to. We've got, anytime we add dates and stuff, is just lanceandleamusic.com.
It keeps it simple. And then the TikTok,
right.
The TikTok is Lance and Lea, or is it Lance Lea together?
It's Lance and Lea, yeah. So
Okay, so and
spelled out.
okay.
Yep, the and A-N-D, and then Lea, L-E-A.
Ah, okay.
I'm gonna double check that. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Our handle on TikTok. Oh, it is.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, folks, you've got to actually check out their albums. The discography is available on Spotify and any other streaming platforms that have them. But even better, if you want to give them support, you can go to their website and purchase any of the albums, I'm assuming. And possible any other merch. Did you guys do merch perchance?
Yeah, so we're doing vinyl this time.
Ooh.
And we're doing CDs, so we got a new vinyl that's going to drop. And I will say, oddly enough, you can get to this link from our website, but we have a shop that's just the Lance and Lea shop.com. It's another site. You can get to it from our website, but that has all of our merch actually on it. So
Okay. So, folks, you just heard something new. For those that want to get vinyl, which is having its heyday right now, you can get it from them once they have the full album released. The vinyl is going to be available, or is it already?
So, vinyl is the pre-order for vinyl is gonna actually start next Friday already.
Oh wow! Okay.
Orders will be mailed out the week that the album releases, because that's how they run that campaign on Billboard.
Okay.
But pre-orders will start next Friday when that first single drops, and we're going to announce all of this, of course, on our socials.
The album itself gets released on June 19th, and so that week we'll send out all the vinyl.
I'm happy that you're doing this, and I'm quite grateful that I managed to actually connect with you guys, because you're a fantastic duo.
Thank
you're superb human beings, and I can feel the love coming from the actual fact that you two are together, and you love your music, you cherish it, you like sharing a part of your lives with other people that get to sit down and listen.
Absolutely.
So
thank you so much.
Now the only thing I need to say is that I need to get myself a turntable one to actually play a vinyl, because I don't have one, but gladly I still have a CD player, which is few and far between nowadays.
We'll have to get you a CD then.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about that. If you want, you just need to let me know. I'll send you my address.
Absolutely. We sure appreciate you having us too.
Yeah.
No, well,
so much.
it's my pleasure. This is what I love to do. It's a part of my passion in regards to music, regardless of what it is. It could be bluegrass, could be country, could be reggae, could be anything. If the artist is willing to do what you guys actually had the interest in doing with me, then I'm all game. But I center myself on jazz and blues, but you know how it is with music. It branches all over.
Yes.
So there's no finite walls that block me from, especially doing it digitally. I don't have to worry about missing out on the show that you guys are doing. We can always do it after a late night evening or an early morning, depending on when I'm available. Sadly, my full-time job keeps me from doing it earlier. But that said, I thank you so much, and I really wish you a very good tour to come, but very good venues, very good life.
Thank you so much. Likewise.
And Yannick, is that how you say your name then? Yannick, is that?
Yeah, it's in French it's Yannick, but in English it's Yannick. You can whichever way you say it, as long as you don't call me Yakin, Yak, or anything. I go by Nick or Yannick, depending on if the person's having issues trying to say my name right. So.
Are you you're in Canada, right?
I'm east of Maine. So I'm in Canada, in New Brunswick, which is the province to the east of Maine, on the other side of the border. And I've been living in New Brunswick. I was born in northern New Brunswick, sharing 3 borders between Maine, Quebec, and New Brunswick.
Wow.
and I decided to move down to a little bit more southeast in the province. It's close to Nova Scotia and PEI, which are part of the Maritimes. But we do have the chance of getting blues talents and country talents, such as yourselves, coming eventually to actually do a venue or a tour to actually promote themselves or to actually see other sites.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, if we ever get up there,
we'd love to come over there and play.
Yeah.
Well, we'd be glad to have you as invited guests, but
Well, you got friends in Nashville now too, so if you get down, if you ever get to Nash Vegas over here, let us know.
Well, thank you so much. Anyways, have a nice evening, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much again, Yannick. Appreciate it.
Likewise. Have a nice evening.
All right. Bye-bye.
You too.
You too.